Patrick Peterson is a future Hall of Famer, and when he came over to the Vikings last offseason, the question was, did he still have something left in the tank? Could he rebound from his down couple of seasons towards the end of his Arizona Cardinals tenure? And frankly, he played well last season, even going through a hamstring injury. I thought that P-squared was solid on the field. I thought that he was great in the locker room, great as a mentor for some of the younger cornerbacks on defense there for the Vikings. But with his free agent contract expiring, as well as a new regime change, the question of will P-square be back in purple remains to be seen. And Patrick Peterson went on his podcast, All Things Covered, with his cousin, with his guy, Brian McFadden, and he reiterated his sentiment that he wants to return to the Vikings in 2022. Here's what he said, quote, "I stand where I stood in December. I love everything about Minnesota. At the end of the day, the ball is in their court now if they want me back." And the problem is that there's a brand new regime. So the general manager in Rick Spielman, who signed him last offseason, is not there. The coach in Mike Zimmer, who really embraced Patrick Peterson as a veteran in the secondary, he's not there either. So there is a lot of question marks on if Patrick Peterson will be back. And the Vikings have been shedding some veterans, have been freeing some things up. Does Patrick Peterson, at age 31, coming up in July, does he really fit into what they want to do going forward? Last year, the pride of LSU, P-square, brought his talent to the Minnesota Vikings. 1 year, $8 million free agent deal with up to $2 million in incentives. He played in 13 games, missed a couple in the middle of the season with a pulled hamstring, posted a 61 PFF coverage grade, only allowed an 89.0 quarterback rating when thrown at, as well as had an interception and 5 passes broken up. And like we mentioned, the new regime, they didn't sign him, and the new defensive scheme with Ed Donatel as well as Durante Jones back in the secondary. Is there a spot for Patrick Peterson? Maybe. I would love Patrick Peterson to be back just for the leadership and intangibles. Plus, I still think that he does have some decent football in him. I wouldn't overpay, though. Like, it would have to be nearly half, or at least half of what he made last season. So I would say 1 year, $4 million with some incentives, nothing guaranteed, just in case that he falters or some of the young guys really step up and outshine him in training camp. Sure, because he's good for the locker room. I think that he's a good player. I think that he's a fantastic leader and mentor. But I mean, it's a young man's game. It just really is. And also, if the Vikings do bring back Patrick Peterson, it should not dissuade them from bringing in other free agent cornerbacks. It should not dissuade them, certainly, from drafting a cornerback high in this upcoming draft, either round 1, round 2, even round 3. Because the cornerback room, I still have faith in Cameron Dantzler. He had a golden opportunity in year 2 last year, sort of pouted, didn't really get it done. Harrison Hand, my guy, 38 special, now 20 special. I think that whenever he is on the field, something good does happen. So I would like to see him get more of the time of day in the new regime. Chris Boyd, whatever. Perry Nickerson, whatever. Mac Alexander is also a free agent who certainly will not be back. And also something that they could consider is Patrick Peterson had talked about potentially moving to safety before he inked up with the Vikings last offseason. So maybe putting that in the mix, since the Vikings lost Xavier Woods to the Panthers. Harrison Smith, safety. Patrick Peterson, safety. Cameron Bynum, safety, but also playing in some slot, using his cornerback skills that he had at Cal. So I think that could be a potential option. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, I would consider it, but like I said, it's got to be cheap. It's got to be absolutely dirt cheap. You're not going to overspend for Patrick Peterson at this stage of his career, but I would bring him back if the price is right. So we'll see what Kwesi and O'Connell and Ed Donatel want to do. But your thoughts are thoughts. Patrick Peterson wants to come back to the Vikings. Do the Vikings want Patrick Peterson back on the Vikings? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.